all the paperwork that was involved in that, fairly routine. Their well after construction will be 3 foot plus from the structure. We have a letter from callable letting them know that it will still be accessible. They have plenty of property at the house. If this well were to be abandoned for some reason in the future, they have enough property to drill a well and the proper distance and from all of the exemptions in the state to drill another well. So they will sign a liability release for the health department and a covenant to indemnify and hold harmless the county and have that recorded to their deed just after the meeting.
So moved. We approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Not all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, the same.
Thank you.
Michael?
Just a little bit about the calcium chloride program. Finished it up this morning. Something a little different. The commissioners have been paying for 200 feet in front of each household here for about 20 years now. And that material will continue to keep coming up, and especially with that much altogether. What I thought we'd do this year, we had to cut that line item a little bit. So I thought we would do 50 feet on each end of that. I know that doing 200 feet, the dust will still come in around the ends and still end up getting to the household. 300 feet is kind of a minimum, and dust typically will not get back to the house. So by putting 50 feet on each end, we should give them a little better protection from what they've had in the past. And on top of that, there's hardly any counties. I'm not sure if there's one, maybe two in the state, but not very many counties are donating, doing that kind of thing in front of the homes. The people here have been very fortunate to keep getting 200 feet done. Checked with the chloride supplier, and their price to anybody that wants to do 100 feet would be $80. So if anybody's at any point isn't happy with any part of the 200 feet or the 300 feet or wants to add on to that, they can do that at a cost of $80 per 100 feet, which is reflective of what our price is in the bids that we would be passing on to them. Nothing has been put in the paper about that yet, but it's something we'd like to do ASAP, because once it gets dusty, they'll start calling. Any questions?
Yeah, because I'm not kidding. I'm confused. I'm so confused right now.
Okay.
We've always done 200 feet.
The county commissioners have paid for that.
Right.
Well,
So what do you want to change? Cause now I'm hearing 50 feet. I'm here on each end. I'm hearing 300 feet. I'm really confused about what do you want?
I don't want anything. I'm just telling you what we want to do, and that is we're going to add 50 feet to the front and back. That'll make that a 300-foot strip.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll be
So
the
this year,
cost,
so this year we're only paying for 100 feet. The 200 feet's already down. It will come back. So the highway, out of its budget, will be paying for a total of 100 feet instead of 200 feet. The 200 feet comes back up, okay? And that 200 feet will be there, plus the 50 on each end. Now will give a total of 300 feet done in front of each household, costing us what we pay for 100 feet this year.
So what happens if we have a new home that wants to do that? We do the 300 feet for the same price as the 200?
Yeah, I would say that we should. That's a good question. Well, I don't know that we have that. We certainly could. But, yeah, I would say that's fair.
It seems to me we're going to cost ourselves. I'm thrilled about 300 feet for these people. I've been in a situation on a gravel road where, albeit not in this county, where I absolutely love them putting that down. I think we got 200 feet free, and then we could pay for whatever we wanted after that. But I guess if we add on, because calcium chloride does not last forever.
Not
You
forever,
agree?
but it certainly will come back from year to year. And we're not paying anything for the 200 feet this year, okay? The 200 feet that was put down last
Well, that's
year,
because we're not gonna do anything with it,
we're not gonna do anything with it.
right? And
And it will
and
come
you're
back.
saying that'll stay dust-free
Yes.
by not doing
I'm
anything
not
with
gonna
it?
say it's gonna be dust-free. You might get 8–10%, something like that.
But what happens the next year then? Do
Deal
we
with
do
it-
the whole
Deal
300?
with it next year, but,
You know what I'm saying?
at this point, it depends how our budget is next year. Right now, we've had to cut out 1/2 of the money that was in that account to do that. We had 50,000 in there, it's cut down to 25, we only have 25. Okay? So, the idea is, we can pay 12 or 13 by doing 100 feet instead of 200 feet, and have enough money to do that, giving them 300 feet, basically, in the end.
Or we could go in front of their house for 100 feet.
Well,
Isn't that the same as giving them 50 foot on both ends of the 200?
yeah, but you want it on each end, because that's what gives you 300. I don't know where you'd put the 100, in the middle of the 200, or
Yeah.
where?
No, yeah, I mean,
That wouldn't do any good.
Front
I think you
Okay.
would,
so I just wanna make sure, so
Yeah.
you're telling me the calcium chloride will work again?
Oh,
I mean,
certainly.
We're,
100%. Seen it many, 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 many years.
all right,
Yep.
I thought it was good for a year.
No. It'll come back, and a lot of times people do this every other year because it will come back. In this case here, it's been done for over 20 years. There's 20 years of material there, so we're quite positive that enough material will come back to cut the dust. Plus, we're cutting another 100, even though it's the first time. A lot of times when you put something down for the first time, it might not last all year because it's a first coat. There's no second, third, or fourth coat underneath of it. But all in all, I think it's a real good idea because they're going to effectively get 300 feet. There might be a little bit of dust that comes from the very outside edge, okay, where the stone's out there further than where they would spray the chloride. Other than that, I think it's going to make an excellent deal for them. They'll pay for nothing, effectively get 300 feet, and not have it roll around the ends to where it gets to the house. And we have the money to do that. And then, in all honesty, I think it should be considered. We're talking about next year. I would bring it up to the commissioners to think about even doing that program where it's paid for anymore. Allen County was the last one I knew that even did that, and now they've cut it out, and anybody wants anything sprayed over there for dust control, they have to pay for it all. But that's a year away. And maybe our budget will reflect something different. You know, I don't know what'll happen a year from now, but I think it's the very best way to handle this year.
I don't wanna micromanage you, so I mean, I guess if that's what you say, okay. In my opinion, but we're paying you to do the job. If you say that's the way it should be, then.
I think it's the best way, again.
Okay.
We have 25,000. I mean, we could go out there, we could do 200 feet with the 25,000. You can go out and cover that 200 feet again if you want. But you're still gonna get dust around the ends, it's gonna get to the homes. We get that phone call every year, you know, from quite a few people. By extending it and doing 50 feet on each side, that 300, I think will keep it from going around the outside edge. I've seen that over many, many years. And the question's gonna be how much of the 200 feet comes back. I think from what I've seen, I think a lot of that 200 feet will come back. And it's a heck of a deal for people here in Whitley County to get for no cost, you know, to themselves.
John? Thoughts? Okay, it's your program.
Okay. Next thing, just I can only give you a little bit on this. this. On the ceiling program, I spent a little time out with Tom this morning seeing a county resident with a question, and it looks like we're going to be able to do what our plan is to do 60 mile of sealing this year. We have to get done obviously what we've milled and what we've turned back. That will be a double seal. We also need to go back to everything we double sealed in 2009 and get that third seal put on those. We haven't done it for a couple of years, getting that third seal on, because we've been kind of cheating and using that seal to go cover other roads to, spread ourselves all over the county. But this will now be the third year, and I don't think we want to push it any further. I think we need to go back and get that single seal on those miles. Again, that'll take us up to about 60 miles. In the first 4 years, if we count this year, we will have done 360 miles. That would be including the 60 this year. That's about 90 miles a year, and that's way ahead of what I think anybody would expect in any county anywhere. So I think we're way ahead there, and the sealing program looks good.
Thank you very much.
That's all I have.
Yes, we are making unbelievable improvements, and I appreciate that very much. Anything for Mike?
Thank you.
Sir.
Thanks.
We got a few minutes before